What's up, guys? My name is Sumner Healey. Welcome to this video. If you're a new land investor, I'm going to show you what you need to do to actually get up and running, start getting some cash hitting your bank account, some wires coming in, all that fun stuff. If you guys are new here, I like to make videos online and show people how to build 6- and 7-figure land investing businesses. If you guys want to learn more about our exact strategy and kind of mimicking our blueprint, go to landinvestor.co/apply. You can talk with myself and the team, and we'll share all the goodies. Anyways, what we're going to talk about today is a concept that took me years to stumble on. And frankly, it took me going through a lot of different land investing programs on the market to kind of start to figure out some of the gaps, right? The problem with most courses, just in general, is that the completion rate is I think it's like 30% of people actually complete a course. That's just completion. Imagine how many people actually get results. Very, very, very few. It's a minority. And to me, that's not so much just a problem of the educators, although it is a problem. It's more fundamentally a problem of the model, right? And that's why I'm so bullish on coaching. I think coaching is the way to getting people results faster, compounding results, mitigating a lot of the kind of classic minefields people will step into and potentially take them out of the business. And so what I learned after studying all these programs and just studying the education in general is that humans learn through something called feedback loops, okay? That's really the only way we can learn. And so what happens is that if you're like me, you come into this business, you've got all this bravado. I can do this. I'll figure this out. This is easy. It's just sending some mail. Idiots. So easy. I'm going to get some deals. That was my stance when I came into this business. And there's two ways to learn, right? The feedback loop can be the marketplace that will teach you, or it can be a word to the wise from someone else, right? Either way, you need a feedback loop to learn. So let me talk about how my feedback loop was in this business. I came in, I would hodgepodge pick some markets, hodgepodge send some mail out, wait 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, whatever it may be. Did I completely screw up? A lot of times it was just a big old goose egg. Try again, try again, try again. So something would work. Okay, I start taking some feedback. Well, what worked about this? Starting to kind of break down and trying to get things to their first principle of what was the thing that actually made this work versus the other ones that didn't work. Same thing, buy a bunch of deals. Some of them we'd make $100 on. Some of them would take 12 months to sell. Some would sell in 12 days. Okay, well, what was the difference, right? So the marketplace is my teacher. The problem with the marketplace being your teacher is A, it's extremely expensive. It's extremely slow. And it's effing dangerous, right? I talk about this on here, but every single month, people apply to Leah, get on calls with their team and say, I've invested X, Y, and Z into marketing, into courses, into deals. And I'm 12 months in, I'm 24 months in, I'm 6 months in, I've got nothing for it, right? That's a problem. So if you're listening to this video, I want you to kind of throw out the idea of just using courses, right? Just temporarily, just hear me out. And I want you to make a decision if you want the marketplace to be your feedback loop or if you want someone else's experience to be your feedback loop. Because the problem is, even if you go the course route, there's no feedback loop in a course, right? Everything is in a vacuum. So you go through a course, everything looks fine and dandy. It's hunky-dory. You try to do the same thing. You don't have the same experience. So now, again, the marketplace is your feedback loop, okay? So in Leah, about a little over a year ago, I started thinking through how can we actually distill down the land investing business, compress time, and compound people's results. And I came up with a little ideology. Okay, we call it learn, implement, coach. And we've battle tested this with over 200 people in the last 12 months. I think we've struck gold, honestly. And I'll probably release this video and people will probably copy everything I'm going to say. And that's okay. Because frankly, the system that we devised works so well that we've had people clear 7 figures in profit, 6 figures, it's like clockwork. If you go inside of our Discord, landinvestor.co/Discord, I challenge you, go in there, go look at our recent wins channel, find any other community that has wins like that frequency with that large of wins going off every day like this, right? That's not an accident. How do we get people to get their first deal in 90 days, 120 days, where those deals can make them 20, 30, 40, 50K, 100K plus on their first deal? That's not an accident. So the little ethos that we came up with is what we call learn, implement, coach. And structurally, the way that we actually teach the land investing model is people go through and they start with the Leah course. Now, yes, that is a course. And you say, Sam, I thought you hated courses. Well, you need something to do that's DIY, right? It would be wildly inefficient for us to not record that material and just reiterate it live to every person that came into Leah. That would be crazy. I used to do that. It's actually how I got started coaching. I had no course. I had some presentation. Someone would sign up. I would literally read them the presentation for 4 weeks straight. I don't even know why anyone wanted to sit through that. It's so boring. Could have recorded it. I just did it live for every single person. I knew nothing back then. So that's the learn aspect, right? You go through the course. So you're going and actually learning the material. Now, what that might look like is you come in and day one, you learn like the fundamentals of how the land business works. Cool. Then we slide you down to the next point. Now we teach you how to actually go and pick markets, right? The information that you give out has to be in a logical order, right? I don't want to go show you how to hire an acquisition manager your first day into a program, because that's like putting the cart in front of the horse. There's got to be a very logical flow to how that information is sequenced, right? You don't want to throw all the information at someone. You want to just kind of give them the perfect little drip of information, the right time, the right place, maybe. So that's the learning aspect, okay? That's where most programs end. Cool, here's the information. You go learn it, you go figure it out. That's a problem. The next thing is you actually go and implement. So while you're going through that material, you're implementing it in lockstep with the information. So what that might look like is you're looking over the shoulders. I'm going and picking markets. I'm telling you do X, Y, and Z. And then there's a homework assignment where you go and do X, Y, and Z. Exactly what I laid out. Now that is a better step than most programs out there, right? Actually having some kind of deliverable that needs to be accomplished. What that does is it creates accountability. You know, at this point in time, you're supposed to be doing this thing. Cool, that's helpful. But the other thing is what you'll realize is when you go and do that, what you go and create actually typically doesn't look like what's in the course. There's too many variables in the land business. The land business is nuanced, right? You are underwriting a deal could look way different than the deal I was underwriting. You're like, well, this doesn't add up. Same thing with markets. And so this is where kind of the piece de elegance, the piece that moves the needle comes in. And that's the coaching aspect, right? So Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, we actually go through and review that homework, if you will, to create a feedback loop. So instead of waiting 90 days to get a read from your mailer, you're waiting 9 hours or 2 days or 3 days to go through and do that work and have that work reviewed. Now, not only can we learn faster, because again, we don't have to wait months to get feedback from the market. We can just kind of unearth the pros and the cons. You can also get the oversight of someone that's been in the trenches, right? So like sometimes the market can tell you things, but the market likes to whisper. Right? If you're not tuned in, you won't pick up on what the market's putting down. Someone that's been there before can say, boom, boom, boom. This is why it's not going to work. Here's why it could work, but the cons are too big to justify the pros. This is why you got to move on. Or if you went and executed on that, you might do that. And the market's telling you that, but you don't listen, right? You've got to be really, really close and listen pretty closely to the market. All right. But potentially the most important part is the risk mitigation. Now, look at nothing in life is riskless, for sure. Like risk is what we have to deal with in this business. In fact, I like to tell people really what we're doing in this business is we're just risk managers, right? We never really know exactly to the dollar what our deals are going to sell for. So what we look at them is the inverse. We say, well, how much could I lose on this deal, right? What is the kind of the baseline? What is the worst case scenario? What kind of margin of safety do I have here? To me, that's infinitely more important than trying to figure out to the dollar what you're going to sell this thing at for. So you can't mitigate risk entirely. But what we can do is we can pull out the classic minefields that will blow you up. This is just a quick example. We had someone share a deal inside Leah yesterday actually. This is a deal that they were asking for funding on. Okay, they're all juiced up. Looks like they're so fired up. This looks like an amazing deal. This deal would have lost them money or broken even at best. Here's a deal that they're asking to go and get other people's money to fund that they would have lost money on. All right. This person wasn't even inside Leo. It was just someone inside of our community. That's crazy that they couldn't spot that. So I step in and say, hey, these are the 2 reasons why this deal isn't going to work. Like, don't even touch this thing with a 10-foot pole. Avoid it. That would have been 3 months, 6 months, 12 months of their time invested into a deal that they would have made 0 on, or worse, lost money with someone else's money. That's crazy. That's absolutely insane. So I think that risk mitigation is one of the biggest things. And that's why we see people come into Leah that within 3 months have their first deal. Within 12 months, they're full-time in the business. They're making $250,000, $300K, $400K, whatever it may be. 2 years in, $500,000, $1 million, $2 million in the business. That's not a coincidence. It's from creating a feedback loop. It's not just about having bigger, better information, right? The informational arbitrage in this business is limited because this business really isn't rocket science. That's the cool thing. What we teach is definitely differentiated than most, but the mechanics really do remain the same. It's about how do we deliver that information and how do we create a feedback loop so people can learn faster, mitigate risk, and compound the results, right? Because if you can learn faster, you can avoid the potholes, right? Let's say you've got 10 grand for marketing and you put it into wrong marketing channels or wrong markets, or you botch it, that could be all your marketing dollars, right? You'll have to go save up for another 6 months before you can even think about sending out another marketing campaign. That's a problem. So we can mitigate the risk, and we can also say, hey, this is a great market. Go put your ducks here and you go make 100 G's off 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 mailers, right? So there's just way more upside. So here's my recommendation to you. A, screw courses, okay? They can be nice things to add on once you're in this business. But if you're trying to start this business with a course, you are out of your mind. It does not work. It does not. Okay. Maybe if you're a superhuman, you're the minority, you have the highest level of discipline, you've got 160 IQ. All right, maybe you can figure it out. But that's not most of us here. That's not me. That's definitely not me. Now, if you're thinking about, well, I'm just going to go figure this out on my own, careful. You need a stack of capital and you need to have a healthy appetite for slow results and risk. Or if you say, you know what, I'm going to have someone hold my hand through this process. When you get on a coaching call with them, or you get on a discovery call with them, or you speak to that educator, say, how do you guys deliver the feedback loop? What is the feedback loop inside this program? How exactly are you guys going to deliver that to me? Because that is the missing link between almost every single program here in the land investing space. In fact, screw land investing. That's the problem with almost every single course I've ever been through and every single education program I've ever been through. They don't think about it through the terms of creating a feedback loop for their students. All right, guys, that's all I got for you. Create feedback loops, achieve massive success, flip some dirt. Take care.